Hello everyone and welcome to this week's After Effects QuickTip plugin tutorial. In this one I'm going to be showing you how to copy different layers and worlds as well as how to use transfer modes inside of a plugin. We're basically going to be making a plugin that will first allow us to copy the source image to our output very easily, and then we'll even add another instance on top of it, sort of like layer stacking, where we can change the transfer mode and see the various results. Before we get started, just want to remind you down below, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified of when new videos are coming out twice weekly on the channel, and down in the description you can check out the code for this project and download it for yourself in the GitHub link, and down there as well you can also follow us on Instagram for live updates. And of course be sure to join the Discord server and get help with plugins, expressions, extensions, scripting, and a bunch of other useful things. So we're going to start off at our render function, which, as you know at this point, is sort of where all of the combinations of the most familiar compositing is done, where we can stack different worlds and layers. We're not doing pixel by pixel manipulation in the render function, but we're sending it off to do various tasks in different functions before we composite everything together. So if we take a look at this starting project that you can download in the description and go into our param setup, all we have in our UI is this pop-up X, which is basically a drop-down. Now we have a couple of things inside of this to define it. We have the name, which is the transfer mode that we're going to be using. We have the number of choices they have, which is going to be 4. We have the default choice, which will be number 1, or add in this case. And then we have a list of all of their choices, which inside of plugins you basically separate with this character here. So we have add, screen, difference, and multiply. And then we have 0 set for the flags because we don't have any flags for it, and we're using our mode disk ID, which is defined in our header file. So this is basically all the plugin is. But we're going to basically use a parallel switch statement, which is going to be whatever they have selected, and we'll use that to set the value of our transfer mode. But before we do that, let's quickly discuss how we can just copy a layer or a world onto another output or world. Inside of After Effects, you apply a plugin or an effect to a layer, and of course we have access to this layer with our plugin, but sometimes you can create an individual world which you can populate with different things. For example, you could create an empty world where you contain your original layer, and then you change a bunch of things on it. So the purpose of this is so you don't have to shoot everything directly to the output buffer, because that makes compositing a lot harder. We can sort of have variables for different layers and worlds, and then manipulate them using transfer modes and copies, as we'll see today. So what we're going to first do is copy our input layer to our output buffer of whatever is visible to the user. To do this, we need of course start by defining an error in parentheses, because we always need to return our error and make sure that we're not having any data leaks or any weird issues. And then we're going to call pf_copy. So if we type in pf_copy in the SDK guide, we get a couple of results, and I want to find this copy function and see what it takes. So I'm going to keep searching, and now I've found the pf world transform suite, which we use quite a bit. This is where we have our options for copying our layer, as well as in a moment where we use our transfer mode to composite on top. So we have copy here and copy high quality. We can typically just use the copy, and all it requires is a source, a destination, and rectangles for which parts are being copied. In that case, we can just put null to copy the entire source world to the entire destination. So I'm going to define again pf_copy. So now we can go ahead and go through and put our source first. So the first thing we can copy is our layer itself that the effect is applied to. To do this, I'm going to grab my parameters. And in this case, my input is called copy and transfer QuickTip_inputs. That is the name of our layer in the parameters. And we're going to grab the pointer to its layer definition. And I need to make sure I have the right amount of brackets here. So now we have a pointer pointing to our layer so that we can copy all of its contents, and we're going to be copying it to the output. So we'll put in the output, which is basically the output buffer of our entire plugin. And then again, for the areas we're going to copy over, we'll say null so that we can do everything. So what this is going to do is copy our source to our output. In this case, we're taking our actual layer that it's applied to, and in my case specifically that would be this explosion, and it's going to just copy to the output. This may seem redundant, but this process you can also use to copy to world variables. If you had like an effect world variable, you could then basically copy your layer to that, make modifications separately from the output buffer, and bring everything in later. I'll probably do a quick tip later on effect worlds and how we can do more sort of After Effects friendly manipulation like that. So remember, we're doing this code for our 16 and 32 bits because the world is deep in this case. So let's go ahead and test it in After Effects on a 32 or 16-bit layer. So I'll go ahead and bring in my footage to a composition here and apply my copy and transfer QuickTip. And if we scroll through, you shouldn't really see any difference. It should look exactly like the source footage. And that is because all we're doing is copying the input layer to the output, which is totally normal. Now we're going to add yet another instance of that input on top of it, on top of our output, using whatever transfer mode they've selected. So the first thing we need to do is define a new composite mode object. To do this, we need to put in the type pf_composite mode. You can see it comes up here. And we'll just call this our composite mode. And now if we go ahead and right click on composite mode and hit peak definition, we can see what variables and information we need to fill it with. So for the composite mode, we need a transfer mode, we need a random seed, an opacity, and an RGB only. So basically what we're going to do is take whatever value they have selected here. If it was add, they'd have value 1. If it was difference, it'd be number 3. And we're going to set that equal to the proper transfer mode. Now, if we right click on transfer mode and peak its definition, we can get a list of all the available transfer modes inside of the plugin SDK. Now, you might see that there are a lot, and some of them don't quite appear the same as you'd see in After Effects. This is because some of them just have different names, and some of them are actually totally different. And there's also a bunch of ones that are sort of obsolete and not used anymore. So all we need to do is get the 4 transfer modes that we have in our dropdown here: add, screen, difference, and multiply. So the naming convention makes it really easy. You can see we have pf_transfer mode_add, and then we have one for screen, multiply, as well as difference. So what we could do is say our composite mode dot, and then you can see it gives us a list of all the things. We want to get the transfer mode, and we could set that to pf_transfer mode, and the type of transfer mode again is going to be add. And I believe this needs to all be capitalized. And I didn't use the right spelling of this, so let's just double check here. It needs to be... So that just set our transfer mode to add for our composite mode. Remember, there are a couple more properties to this, so I'll grab our composite mode and we'll set the opacity. Set it to 1, so it's a full opacity transfer. And then we can also duplicate that and change the opacity.su for the higher bit rates. And the higher bit rate gets 1 and the normal bit rate gets 255 values. And then lastly, if you want, you can go through and check out the other ones. You don't really have to put in a random seed or an RGB only. Those are just extra options you have. So we don't want to obviously just set the transfer mode to add every time. So what we're going to do is set up a switch statement, and we want to check what they have selected here and make it correspond exactly to what we have set up. So I've already gotten our copy transfer mode value here of the dropdown. So all we're doing is referencing the dropdown itself, and then we're getting the value of that dropdown. And I have that here in a variable called mode int. So I'm going to do a switch statement for our mode int. If our mode int is 1, we're going to get add. If it's 2, screen, 3, difference, and 4, multiply. So I'm going to take this code here, and for case number 1, we're going to go ahead and say our composite mode dot transfer mode is equal to pf_transfer_add. And then we can do the same thing for the other cases. We have case 2, and case 2 is going to be screen as a transfer mode. So we can just copy and paste that and change this to screen. And then we can just go through and adjust the rest of the values. For 3, we have difference. And for 4, we have multiply. So now we have it set up so that whatever they have selected here will directly influence the transfer mode, which we're about to composite on top. So the last step is to composite it on top, and we currently have our input just going out to the output. Now let's put on our input with the transfer mode on top of that. So we're going to, of course, first make sure we have an error here in parentheses, and we're going to access our suites.world transform suite 1, create that object, And we're going to point to our transfer rect here, so we can transfer a rectangle on top of our canvas. And now let's begin putting in our arguments. The first argument is a progress pointer called effect reference. This is pretty normal for running any kind of iteration or things like that. All we're going to do is reference our in-data and the effect ref property built into that. Then we want the quality, so we're also going to reference our in-data and quality. These are just to make sure that the quality and all that of our input image will match our output and composite. Next we have, again, more rectangle inputs. We have a source rectangle, which will put null. If you had a specific box or area you wanted to cut out and transfer, you could do that by specifying a rectangle sort of like this, but more specific. Then the next thing we need is a source world. Again, we can use our original layer for this, which we're going to do, or if you have like another effect world you've put everything in, you could use that. So I'm going to again reference a pointer to my parameters and copy and transfer inputs, pointer to the layer definition. And now the next thing we need is a composite mode. And now you have to excuse me because my light died, but next up we have a composite mode, and this is what we just set up. We have our composite mode with our opacity as well as our transfer mode set up. So we can just use our variable and say composite mode. Next up we have a mask world. We don't have a mask world that we want to use, which can basically define certain areas we want to transfer, so we'll say null to not use a mask. Then we have our destination X and destination Y, which we're going to set to 0 each because we don't really have any destination we want for them. And finally is the destination or output world, which we're going to set to our output. And you can see we have an error somewhere in here. If we highlight over, it says improperly terminated macro invocation. So the error here I have is I actually didn't put in enough arguments. So basically we have our first argument, which if we look over here is our effect reference, which we have our quality, and then we have flags and field before our source. So we only have one null here, there needs to be two, one for our flags and the other for the field input. And then we actually need the reference to the source rectangle. I may have mentioned that you can put null, but I'm not sure that we can. So I'm going to use this rect one that I previously made here and paste that in there. And this should be a pointer to our rectangle. And then lastly, I need one more closing parentheses. And it looks like no suitable conversion from PF composite mode to PF composite mode. It needs to be a pointer, our composite mode. And now we fixed that error. So you just got to make sure that you have the right amount of arguments and don't skip any. If you're having problems, just right click on it and peek the definition to see which arguments are required, and then you can compare. Let's go ahead and close After Effects and run this and see if it works. And we're getting an error here. It looks like it needs to be cast to a type AU short. We can do that. And we'll try it again. And now I'll go ahead and apply this, make sure we're in like 16 bits per channel, and I'll apply our copy and transfer QuickTip. And now, if we turn it on and off, you should now see a difference depending on which transfer mode they have selected. There might not always be a visible change with the transfer modes, but with add you can definitely see it. Multiply makes it look pretty nice. And you can go through back into the transfer modes and check out every single one that's built in and just sort of play around and see what's different between that and the ones built into After Effects. And just going through and changing the settings of your composite mode, you can really start to customize your plugin. But that's going to do it for this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos coming out twice weekly on the channel, and of course down in the description you can download this starter code to try it out for yourself in the GitHub link. You can also follow us down there on Instagram, and of course make sure you join the Discord server to get help with scripting, extensions, plugins, expressions, and much more. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.